Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, 𝙤𝙤. We are going to talk about Ginny and Georgia. I literally finished it at 7:26 p.m. and my friends, we have a lot to discuss. First things first, I'm going to go over my general thoughts of the show as a whole for this new season, and then I'm going to go into each character, plot lines that kind of stuck out to me a lot when it came to it. So overall, with season 2, all I'm going to say is I personally feel like it was way better than season 1. And I'm going to tell you why. Because honestly, in season 1, Netflix, I think what they missed was that wow component that actually made sense. Despite the fight between Hunter and Ginny about, no, I'm the person of color that's more oppressed than you argument that caused them to have a rift. Ginny's mom had subtle murder series type of life behind the screen. Like, yeah, all fun, just now in this season, they actually added depth. They added that feeling, that mother and daughter dysfunctionality. How do we survive? They love, they hate each other. Well, the mother, she's a very dysfunctional character, but we still make you like her. Like, you love an anti-hero. Play Taylor Swift. Because how did I end up to being like, oh my gosh, I hate Georgia, to being like, I like Georgia, I'm sympathizing with her? Why? That's my first thing. If you know the iconic friend group in the show, Mang, that resembles the girls Maxine, Abigail, Nora, I think is her name, and Ginny, can we just say this was giving Gossip Girl and 90210 had a friend group baby? Because these girls, they're chaotic, but it's entertaining at the same time, which is basically what Gossip Girl and 90210 delivered to me as a viewer for all their times with those many seasons. So I'm here for Mang. Now, next thing is I like that overall we have a weird understanding now of this relationship between Ginny and Georgia, because I feel like in the first season it felt like a hovering cloud. You know it's gonna possibly rain, or it's just gonna sit there. In season 1, it's just sitting there, and in season 2 it said, oh, we're gonna bring the house down. Okay, it's raining, it's pouring, we're crying, we're just having so many emotions. But somehow, some human emotion is clicked when it came to their relationship this season, where I'm like, oh yeah, I get it. Somewhat, but I get it. I've seen this as a new genre on Netflix, that dysfunctional suburbia, which Netflix, that's an interesting title. Third of all, overall thing is, I will say there was too many, can never be too many, supplemental storylines. May have been 20. May I say Degrassi. So that was just funny to me with all these story plot lines going on, which I will add, I'm pretty sure some of them haven't even finished yet. Like the one with Abigail, like, oh my gosh, I'm taping my thighs, someone help me. And then Scarface hot dude is like, why are you taping your thighs? And now she's probably gonna have an eating disorder by season 2. So it's just a lot going on. So yeah, now let's get into the actual tea. The characters. My first one is Georgia. She did a lot to me this season, okay? The first half, I was so mad at her, okay? I was like, Georgia, I don't like you. I've decided that. I, matter of fact, hate you. That was like in the middle of it. I hate you. And in the end, I'm like, oh, Georgia, no, girl. I'm so sorry for you. Literally, Taylor Swift playing in the background. You make it so hard to cheer for you, anti-hero. Because I'm just like, girl, who are you trying to be today? Are you trying to be good? Are you trying not? She's very complex. It's like you never know what she's gonna do until you see that look in her eye, that little arch in the eyebrow, and you're like, okay, you're about to mess something up. One key thing that stuck out to me that she always did in the relationship with Ginny is guilt trip. Okay, guilt trip to the point where you're just like, do you hear my problem? Do you understand what you're doing is wrong? The part that literally had me thinking that was when every time Ginny keeps saying, Mom, you gotta stop being murdered. But then Georgia feels attacked by that. I mean, like, girl, I did this all for you. You don't understand. Instead of being like, I hear you, daughter. In her country voice, like, I'm sorry, Ginny, and I'll be a good mother now. There was none of that until it was too late, because dun 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 dun, that leads to my next point. Why the frick does it take to Ginny hurting herself and her finding it out the worst way possible for her to be like, I'm sorry? Because throughout all those times they fight, and when Georgia is clearly in the wrong, she never says sorry, which literally stuck out to me. I'm just like, girl, you gotta put that pride away. Because literally she's lucky enough that her daughter and her son were alive when it came to the stuff she has been doing, Miss Criminal. But this is where I will give my sympathy side about Georgia. The woman has been through a lot, which season 2 literally was not shying away from it. It said, listen, she's been through X, Y, and Z in the alphabet. Let's give her some grace, please. What Georgia did in the season 1, and then seeing how that correlates to why she is the way she is now, that kind of just helps you understand of this is all she knew. Like, this woman tried to work with what she got. And then, you know, you have 2 kids by 2 men. One was nice, one was an abuser. So it's like a lot going on. So totally get that. Now, it made me think of the villains in Spider-Man. Sandman, he was trying to help his daughter. Like, I know, like, he's big, grainy, sand. He gets stuck on your shoes near the ocean. That's not his fault. You know, sediments. She's one of them characters that are misunderstood. It's like, listen, I know what I'm doing is really bad, but I kind of have no choice because I've just been used to this lifestyle. But does not mean she can't change. She just got to face the music, which in the end we all learned she had to. Is basically her flatlining Cynthia's husband without Cynthia knowing. Poor Tom. Now listen, I know there may be mixed thoughts about this. I see where Georgia was going about this. It's like she wants to be good. The way she acts it out is really bad. Like, yeah, she saw her friend, she's hurting, she's boohoo crying. Like, her freaking love of her life is literally on life support. Ain't no way you gonna wake up. And then Georgia said, oh my God, let me help my friend. I'm just gonna flatline him. That's where she went wrong. I was like, girl, wait a minute. Take your hand off of him. Don't do that. She was not alone. Her son, Austin, was in a closet and he peeked through the door of the closet to see his own mother killing a man. So it's not really the best look of things, and I will get into Austin because bless his heart, he's gonna need years and years of therapy. And then honestly, I have more understanding of Georgia and a bit of sympathy because it's like being a mother of like that 2 kids from different dads, and then you have your bad history with one of them. It's like, what is a girl supposed to do? She had nobody. Her story reminded me of Killer Sally, who basically defended her kids because her husband was abusive, which kind of, I see the similarities when it comes to Georgia. Sometimes it's hard because society has these different notations of women that are defending themselves. So yeah, in the new season, if we get one, fingers crossed, it's gonna be interesting. Next is Ginny. First thought, season 2 Ginny was way better than season 1 Ginny. I promise you, y'all, I feel like there may have been a new writer on this new season because Ginny came out swinging. Okay, she said, oh, you thought season 1 was my time to shine? Oh, just wait. Because literally the moment when she was like, okay, so my mom is crazy. That's when she was like, oh, you want me to turn up? Oh, I'm gonna turn up. Roast her mom was iconic, let me tell you. Cause I was like, girl, you need to sit down somewhere. Like the credit card she used to buy Austin that Game Boy, that was funny. And many other iconic moments. I am proud of her for literally tackling her self-harm issue, because getting on a serious note with you all, it's so important to talk to someone about any issue like that you're having. And literally, I'm glad that she went to her dad being like, I've had this problem, I really want to get help. So I'm proud of her for tackling it. I'm glad that this girl finally told her mom straight up, like, girl, you be kind of acting crazy and you be treating me badly. Ginny basically stood up for herself, because it's sad, but I honestly think it's true. She saw her mom as a bully, which is like, girl, that's not how you want to see your mama. So I was like, yeah, girl, you gotta tell her something about herself. And she did, in the comforts of her nice therapist. Next, I am so glad, so glad that Ginny is embracing her black side, because listen, in season 1, she's like, suburban black girl, I just gotta fit in when I get in. I can say that because I'm a suburban black girl. Like, girl, I can understand. But she's biracial. So it's like she's combating with, am I too white? Am I too black? Like, where do I fit in? Which I understand the difficulty when it comes to that. But girl, let me tell you something. You can't forget your black side. Because literally people gonna remind you of that every chance you get, all right? I'm glad she was able to make her cool black friends that are literally goals, literally awesome. Bracia is a queen, which I will talk a little bit about her. So I was glad about that, which is great that they tackled that race issue, especially when it comes to her being raised by a white mom. It's like, girl, are you gonna know any shade better? Girl, are you gonna know that sometimes you do not understand what it means to be black? Like, that therapy session was, you ate scrum diddly yum yum purr. Cause that woman, she tried to be like, okay, yeah, I don't get it, I'm sorry. I'm like, yeah, you don't, cause you white, girl. You better listen. But you know, Georgia gonna be Georgia. And I'm also glad that they combat the tokenized black girl syndrome, which, and most importantly, pointing out how racist that Ginny's teacher was, because let me tell you something. In my experience, teachers should be able to communicate about topics like that, regardless of the race, being respectful and mindful about it. But the fact that he couldn't even read or freaking push a curriculum about a black woman novel, are you kidding me? No. He said, oh, no. This is black people stuff. Get the black girl to talk about it. But let that be known, AP teachers, that you need to diversify your curriculum. Because, yeah, that's not cute. I'm going to talk about Marcus in a second. But Ginny and Marcus, it was exhausting seeing how dependent Ginny was on Marcus. Like, I didn't really realize it in season 1. Because I'm going to tell you one thing. Season 1 was boring as frick. But in season 2, I was like, girl, if it's not the moonlight or the sunlight, you need Marcus? Like, she's like, I'm tired, I need Marcus. I'm sad, I need Marcus. Like, I get it, but I'm like, sissy poo, you need to stop relying on your boo like that, because it was getting reckless, which led to what, my friends? The breakup. So yeah, it was very annoying with that. Let me tell you, Abigail decides to stop being a freaking Grinch and decide to be best friends with Ginny. Honestly, low-key in season 1, I was like, okay, girl, what's really a problem with Ginny? She checked herself, okay? In season 2, she's like, you know what, girl? You ain't that bad. I'm sorry. Their friendship, iconic. The way they said, Maxine, you doing the most. Next thing is, you're telling me all Ginny had to do to get in Maxine's, the great Maxine's good graciousness is to say she loves her brother? Are you kidding me? Legit, that's all she said. Maxine said, oh my gosh, yay, I'm so happy for you. That's it? Girl, if that was the case, Ginny should have said she loved him episode 1. Like, girl, I was like, why was that the only thing you needed? Maybe if you weren't so dramatic, then we would be great. But anyways, I digress, my friend, I digress. Austin, first off, if there's anyone besides Tom that needs the most sympathy from this audience, it's Austin. This boy's only 9 years old, and he's practically did the most craziest traumatic things that a 9-year-old should not be going through, okay? Well, number 1, he's going to need intensive therapy ASAP, because literally we do not need another serial killer. All right, we don't. But the fact that he shot his daddy in the arm, I said, Austin, you know, great, you defend your mama, but that was a bit much, honey. And then it's just so sad of how at such an age like that, I don't even know how he's going to handle all of that when he gets older. And Austin is a smart kid. Ginny, Georgia, nobody got him fooled, especially his daddy, which that's gonna be interesting to see in the next season, because he straight up said he hates that dude. Paul, my dude. He's the man. First of all, that's my first comment, okay? He is the man. Because this dude really just said, listen, y'all, I know I'm new to the family. I might be your stepdaddy soon. I get it. Y'all may not like me. But let me tell you one thing. I know how to try to be a parent. And that's exactly what he did. I just love how he defended Georgia in that little office of his when her ex, Gill, came back. He said, listen here, fool, try me. I said, that is a man. Literally, ladies, just look at that scene and be like, if he could, he would. Okay, Paul embodied that. He ate that. Scrum diddly yum yum. Let's talk about the person I don't like from this season. Gilbert. whatever name he want to go by today. Gill can literally eat dust. That's literally the first bullet point in my notes. This explains so much to why Georgia is so secretive. She literally dealt with this abuser dude. Like, of course she gonna keep it undercover because this dude crazy. So that explains a lot despite her criminal past. And then he was definitely annoying. And then on top of that, I appreciate, it's just so interesting to me how the male instinct set it off on the left and the right when Gill came into the story plot. Literally, Zion, I don't like this dude. Paul, I don't like this dude. Joe, who's literally not even romantically involved with this child, I don't like this dude. All I'm gonna say about that is when it came to Zion and Paul's roles, I wish they interrogated him more. But of course I know they're like, oh no, that homeboy's daddy. But it's just like Zion in particular, now that he knows this dude, like he's literally been around this dude when Ginny was little. I'm like, oh boy, you gotta talk to that dude. And then no wonder him and Georgia got caught up together, because what I realized with both their characters is they're very alike. Despite the abusive part, they were both very money hungry, crime past, a bit crazy. I mean, they were basically checking each other's boxes on we're the same person. I think that's what scared Georgia. It's like this dude checked all the same boxes she did, but he was practically worse because he hated her. So it's just like, oh no, I'm fighting my worst enemy, the male version of me. We did it, Joe/Seb from Bracia. But does anyone else find it odd about this black eye situation about Joe? Because one day he's like, oh my gosh, I'm so mad at everyone. And Ginny was like, Joe, you okay, bro? He's like, well, I care about my job. Like, I get that. And then next day he has a black eye. And Cynthia and their little rendezvous, she's like, oh my gosh, Joe, where'd you get that black eye from? He first saying like, oh, it was from a hockey incident. Now, here was my feeling, though. It just felt so off. I was like, ain't no way it was a hockey thing. Because what I was thinking was Georgia asked Joe a couple times in the first season about Blue Farm, about money. So I was thinking, since Georgia, she had a gang, pulled up with the gang pass, I was like, maybe one of the gang members wrapped him up because they thought he stole some money. That's what I thought. But apparently it was just hockey, because nowhere in the next few episodes after that did it ever get clarified. So I guess it was a hockey incident, which I thought was boring. So I was like, whatever. His love for Georgia is stupid to me, because it's just like, why? Like, literally, he's in love with the thoughts of her. He don't know her, or do he? Question mark. I'm kidding. But yeah, he gotta let that go. Ellen, if anyone deserves an award for being iconic and funny as heck through all this series, I'm talking about season 1 and 2, is Ellen. That woman was funny. Like, literally in the midst of even the comment about George's baby daddies, she's like, so where you find these men, girl? Because like, literally, they're all cute. Even the crazy one. I was like, girl, no, get it. Like, I feel like Ellen was me in the show. I was like, Georgia, girl, you got crazy, girl. And then Max's dad, I love their dad because he's so sweet. Like, literally, when Maxine is like, oh my gosh, I think I'm too crazy, he was like, no, girl, you a good crazy. Like, when he's talking about all of the different movies she loved and how, you know, women being funny, like, that's a gift. Like, just being funny in general, that's a gift. I was like, that's so beautiful. Like, period. So we are talking about the twins' parents. Let's actually talk about the twins, shall we? Marcus. In this season, I actually like that we kind of dwelled in even how his mentality was, because I did relate with him about his depression. I understand that feeling of that numbness of like, I don't even know if I deserve anything, really. Like, he was just so down low. And I just find that very cool that they highlighted that, because it's very realistic, and it was happening around winter months, which was very interesting, because that's when I suffer from depression, is in the seasonal type of way. So that was very relatable. I know Marcus, he had his moments where he was like, yeah, sad boy hours. But in the first half of the show, why was he trying to be the quirky, woke, white boy ally half the time? Like, literally, most of the time, he was like, talking about like, oh, why we were so many Thanksgiving? I love he with the people, you know, we won't be controlled by a system. But I was like, Marcus, be quiet. You doing a lot, honey. Like, next thing, you know what? He probably gonna call freaking Ginny his black queen, Nubian queen. I'm like, Marcus, please chill out. I'm glad that him and Ginny are friends at least. Let's see if it stays that way. Because you know how those two roll. Maxine. In half of the season, this girl was the most meanest and annoying this season. Why? Literally, Blair from Gossip Girl had more grace towards Serena for sleeping with her ex. And that was her ex-boyfriend. Okay, that wasn't her sibling. It was her ex. Like, girl, you gotta be kidding me. And then she literally took that girl back to be her friend. Like, this whole situation about the twins and then she being weird about, of course, Ginny dating him. I was like, what in the Degrassi is happening now? Declan and Fiona. Now, I know y'all remember the little twin beep situation where literally Fiona's like, well, if Holly J can't have you, no one can have you except for me. That was disgusting. Literally kill that storyline. I'm glad I didn't do that because I would have been like, yo. But thankfully Maxine is gay, so that would have been really weird. You know, she gotta keep her upbeatness, her over dramatics, you know, because that's part of her character, but she got a little bit better, okay? The obsession with Sophie. I still don't get why she was so obsessed with this child in season 2. I'm like, girl, this is literally like you're obsessed with her from last year, 2 years ago. Like, girl, this was so long ago. Like, let it go. Lastly, when it came to the Weddington play they did, why did Maxine eat when she was the villain? Like, girl, she put that cape on and them lashes. She said, oh, I'm the villain now. Run. Vocals were good. I was like, okay, not in a cheesy way. Like, I don't know, Hunter's tap dancing in season 1. And then Cynthia, let me tell you something. I love how we all were like, oh yeah, Cynthia, the real antagonist in season 1. Georgia make her look like a saint. Georgia makes her look like a saint in season 2. Cause my girl, she really was like, well, my husband is dying. My child is trying to heal. I'm trying to heal. Joe is cute. We smoochy smooch, and that's it. Like, Cynthia really was just sitting here. Now, when it came to the Gill situation, yeah, she kind of had a slip up with that apartment thing. I'm like, girl, you better take them keys back. And then Joe and Cynthia, not the couple I was expecting to come out of this, but it was giving a little, you know, trauma, hopeless, romantic bonding. Like, okay, you two. But then Cynthia was like, be so freaking for real. You still in love with that blonde. Go ahead, be with her. And she was not wrong. So that was funny. Bracia, my black queen, my representation in this show. Literally, I just felt so called out about the recalling of your 8th grade crush and y'all go to the same high school. That was a bit too forward, Netflix. That was a little bit poking at the bear, okay? Don't do that. But I love her character. Literally, her and Brian, their love story saved the day. Like, we have something to at least be happy about despite everything happening in this sad season. But they were cute, and her playing the lead role, it was giving Bridgerton but make her black, like, period. Like, I loved it. And she ate. Okay, don't give me the plate. Now, oh yeah, Samantha. Listen, if anyone could be killed off the show, it would be Samantha. Because let me tell you something. This girl has been problematic from season 1. Coming at Jenny about her whole heritage of her being black and everything. And her just being criticized and like, oh, you must have been really poor. You must have came from the ghetto. Like, it's giving, are you tokenizing me, child? Like, it was just so much. I was just like, Samantha, just go to a different school, girl. Ain't nobody trying to be friends with you. But they still have her sit with them, which I don't know why. But yeah, if anyone could get off the show, it'd be Samantha, because she's just annoying. So yeah, that's all the characters. There may be some that I might cut out when it comes to editing the video, because it's a little bit long right now. But overall, if I had to rate season 2 of Ginny and Georgia, it would be like, honestly, it would be 8 out of 10, because regardless of the whole story plot, 5, 6, and 20, my dog is barking, the 5, 6, and 20 happening, like, it was so legit season, better than season 1. Bite me on it, bro, bite me. But it was so much better. I'm sorry if you hear my dog in the background. But anyways, I thought it was good, and that is pretty much all I have for this video. I'm gonna try to have this up the next day because I'm trying to beat this algorithm. But if you did like this video, made it to the end, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe, because I really am looking forward to do more videos like this, because we have so much more releases this year, like 2023, go purr. So I'm really excited. And then make sure you follow me on my Instagram. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And that's a wrap on 𝚂𝚤𝙔. Bye.